Hebrews chapter 3, verse 13. But exhort one another daily, while it is called today.
So you understand what that means, sis? So when it says exhort one another daily, when we, for instance, when you're amongst the body, you have sisters you can talk to daily. Y'all can go through the scriptures. Hey, I'm dealing with this, man. My anger is getting the best of me today. What scriptures you meditate on? A sister can say, hey, this is what I meditate on. If your husband is in the truth and he's learning the commandments, he can call another brother up. Or maybe you and your husband, y'all can come around another married couple and exhort one another through the scriptures. All right, so it says do that daily. Read.
While it is called today, lest any of you be hardened through the deceitfulness of sin. Lest any of you be hardened through the deceitfulness of sin.
So that bottom part says, lest you be hardened through the deceitfulness of sin. So what does that mean? You may not know certain commandments, right, that you're breaking, and you do them and you don't even know. It's because you by yourself. So I'm going to give you an example. Do you know what the new moon is?
It's like how I understood, how I perceived it. That's the new year. That's when everything.
Well, okay. The new moon is not a new year. Remember when you read Genesis 1:14, he said he gave the moon for seasons and signs. Every full moon you see is beginning of a new month. So, was it a couple days? I think it was a couple weeks ago we had a new moon. All right, so the next full moon you see, when it's at its highest point, that's the beginning of a new month. So that's one example. That's one of our holy days. Now, you didn't know that.
I forgot that part of it, but
okay.
I know that pagan, the birthday, you don't really know.
Right, the birthdays, right.
Because they changed everything, like January's not this day.
Exactly, all of those different things, because we understand that our enemy has changed the times.
Exactly.
Right, so when it says the deceitfulness of sin, it's the thing that you don't know, you'll get comfortable in them. Because you didn't know about the new moon. You'll be living your life thinking you're good to go with God, and you're not celebrating one of the most high holy days he has. So that's why it's important what we read in Hebrews 10 to be around other people, because you won't learn those things. Like if I was to ask you scriptures about dealing with, what's another one? Anger, right? Those are things that a lot of our people deal with. You have sexual lust, you have stealing, you have women obeying their husbands. Husbands treating their wives with love. These are different things that are in our community, but if you're not learning from nobody, you can never grow. You understand that, sis?
Yeah.
That's clear, right? So that's why it's important that you have to be around other people. Read that one more time.
Hebrews 3:13. But exhort one another daily, while it is called today, lest any of you be hardened through the deceitfulness of sin.
It means Zephaniah 1:8. Because we're talking about the fringes. I want to show you something. Watch this. It said, lest you be hardened through the deceitfulness of sin, right? So right now, the officer pointed out fringes. That was a commandment. So if Christ was to return right now, watch this.
Zephaniah 1 verse 8. And it shall come to pass in the day of the Lord's sacrifice.
The day of the Lord's sacrifice is the day he returns. Because he's going to kill a lot of people. Right? You understand? Read.
That I will punish the princes.
Do what?
Punish the princes.
Punish means to kill. He will kill the princes.
And the king's children.
The king's children is talking about children and the women. That is everybody. Everybody outside of this order.
And all such as are clothed with strange apparel.
So that's God is saying he's going to kill everybody in strange apparel. So remember, we're going back Hebrews 3:13, right? The point of gathering with other people. That's a commandment. God said those clothed in strange apparel, women wearing pants. If you don't have fringes, that's strange to God because it's outside of his commandments. He said, put fringes on your clothes. If you don't have them, you get put to death for that because it's a commandment of God. Now, again, if you didn't know that, that's one thing. If you don't know how to do it even, because some people say they see the fringes, they don't know how to sew, they don't know how you get them to stay on your clothes. Some people don't know that, right? But that's why God said, gather together, O nation, not desire, right? Because you have many brothers out here, majority of us out here are married. We have wives that sew our clothes and our children's clothes. So when you come amongst the body, then you can learn the things that you didn't know. And it's a process of time. It's not overnight. You can't beat yourself up because you don't know something. It's a learning process. God gave us grace to get ourselves together. You understand that? Give me that Titus 2 real quick. Titus 2 and 11. Titus chapter 2 verse 11. You got it? Go ahead.
Titus 2 verse 11. For the grace of God that bringeth salvation hath appeared to all men, teaching us that denying ungodliness and worldly lust, we should live soberly, righteously, and godly in this present world.
In this present world. This is what we're talking about, grace. So that grace period is for you. Give me Psalms 119:60. It said this right here, this time period that we have is to get ourselves together. So God is giving you mercy, even pulling you out here to see us. And I seen little man was like, dang, I didn't know that was real. Because he been watching on YouTube. So guess what? Now little man see, we are real. We on YouTube, but we actually in the street so you can see us. You can talk to us. We love our people. That's why we out here. And then now you have a flyer with the address to the school. You just have to, what's the word I'm looking for? You have to muster the courage. Just come on down. We ain't gonna come and throw a rock at you. We're gonna say, hey, come on, sis, come to the school, learn in class in person. You don't have to watch online. It's many of us in person. And then you can see we have a family, we have a body full of people that you can learn from. All right, read that.
Psalm 119, verse 60. I made haste, I made haste, and delayed not to keep thy commandments.
So what do you think you have to do, sis, with the fringes? Let me ask you first. Do you own fringes? They just not on your shirt or your dress?
No, I actually been looking online to find gold.
To find some?
It's probably the hardest colors to come by.
Well, you said gold?
Gold, yeah.
Okay, so.
But that's something that's in my to-do list. Like,
Got you.
And then I'm looking for like long dresses.
Okay.
So that's not too tight, but you know.
Yeah, modest dress. I understand that. That's one of the hardest thing is finding modest apparel in Babylon. You know what I'm saying? So guess what? You know what sisters do? Sisters go to thrift stores. Sisters go to kosher clothing stores, which is, you know, Amalek or Jewish stores, and they have long dresses. Or even if you know how to sew, there's people who make dresses, make skirts with the fabric. Now, these are things you can learn when you're amongst other sisters, sis. Remember, it's not a shame. Don't feel ashamed because you don't know something. Because a lot of, I'm not saying you do, but some of our people, they don't go amongst anybody because they feel ashamed. Like, hey, I don't know this. We're all learning to perfect ourselves. So when it talks about, you mentioned fringes, you can go to Amazon. And that's why I get a whole roll of fringes. Little 1-inch ones, different colors. There's different styles of fringes. There's different colors. If you need gold, I actually just order some gold ones. And if you don't want to go to Amazon, we sell fringes in the school. After the Sabbath, we have Black Wall Street, where we sell things that our people need. Fringes, incense, clothing, so on and so forth. We have that in the body. What else? Yeah, and also you can go to Hobby Lobby. Where's that off the, where? Joann's. What's that street in Dallas? Harry Hines. You familiar with Harry Hines? From Florida? Okay. So yeah, sis, in Harry Hines, they have whole factories of clothing stores. You can get fringes in person. You can just literally walk in there. Walmart actually sells fringes.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I got some of my fringes from there. The price is starting to go up in Amazon, but you can get something to start on your clothes. And if you don't have a sewing machine, you either watch a YouTube how to sew or get clothes. So you know how to sew. Oh, you know people that sew. So guess what, sis? Now you just gotta go buy the fringes. Buy you some ribbon of blue. Ribbon is cheap. Buy you some ribbon and start putting on your clothes. You have more kids in the car? Your older daughter, she believe the truth too?
She does.
She does. So I'll praise. So guess what, sis? You love your son, your children, right? So what do you have to do to make sure that they're guided in the right direction?
I have to keep them in the truth. I have to.
You got to teach them the commandments. You got to teach the commandments of God. So once you have your fringes, a little man has some fringes.
Exactly.
And then now he's saying, hey, I got these fringes on. I'm looking like Christ. I'm royalty. Because those are the things that has been took from us as a people. Now we go back to the scriptures and we regain that wisdom and understanding back who we are. And then we get our help me out here. What's the word I'm looking for? Our pride about ourselves, who we are. You understand that? Who? Our heritage, yeah, exactly. We get our heritage back. Read that.
Deuteronomy 6, verse 7. And thou shalt teach them diligently unto thy children, and shalt talk of them when thou sittest in thine house.
So you see that? God said you're supposed to teach your children diligently. So you're supposed to teach your children, why do we wear fringes? It's to remind you of God's commandments. They said, well, what happened to the person who wore fringes? These are different stories that you can read to children, and then they'll have pride in who they are. Then they be like, oh, okay, I'm an Israelite from the tribe of Judah, so forth.
Right.
I wear fringes because X, Y, Z.
Right.
Then, how old is your son again? You said 6? So yeah, my son, I got a son at 6 as well. When I talk to my son, what tribe he from? He know what tribe he from. If somebody try to tell him Christ is a white man, he gonna, nah. Revelation 1:14 says Christ is black. Why? Because he has the love of knowing there's a Jesus Christ, the greatest man to walk the earth, that looked like him.
Right.
He has confidence in his heritage. That's what keeping God's commandments and teaching will do for our people. So you must, sis, go back to find you some fringes. And then you can start, you know what I'm saying, you can start learning from that point. And you said you was married, right?
I was my boyfriend.
Your boyfriend. So let's deal with that. You know what the Bible say about that?
I do.
What did it say?
You're not supposed to have boyfriends. You're
Okay.
married and you're single.
Right, so are y'all familiar with the process, the things you must have being married?
But I'm sure he'll tell me. He knows. I'm sure.
Okay, so and you said he believes.
Yeah, he's been in it
Okay.
longer than I have. His uncle and we watch Bishop Nathaniel.
Okay.
So,
All praises. So
yeah, he really
good.
put me into like the classroom.
So he been okay, very good. So let's get paperwork. Let's get that. Let's get paper. Yeah, we don't need proving. Yeah, we don't need that. What you got? No, let's get paperwork. Let's get that. Tobit. I'm gonna show you something, sis, because as you already know, you say you're familiar, you know what it says. You know marriage is honorable, right? So when it comes to marriage, if you was to say, for instance, your husband had, I don't know, let's say he owned 5 acres of land, he owned a house, or your boyfriend, I'm gonna call him your boyfriend right now, and your boyfriend was to die, the government will come take everything from your husband and sell it if you don't have any paperwork with your name on it. You know that, right? He'll take everything you got because you're not his wife. You're just a girlfriend, which means there's no acknowledgement of you. It means you don't mean it means you don't mean nothing to that person. Now, when you have paperwork and you're married, if anything happened to you, they're automatically going to call you first, and then everything will be relinquished to you, to your power. You understand that? That's one of the important things that you have to understand about paperwork. Very, very important. You got paperwork on your car. You got paperwork on your house. When you, Yeah, your social security, everything has a paper trail. There's record. That's the point. Record and ownership. Now, if you don't have no paperwork, again, also, he can leave you. No consequences, because y'all ain't married. You see that? So this is why we have to apply this. I'm going to read that for you. Go ahead.
Tobit in the Apocrypha, chapter 7, verse 14. And called Edna, his wife, and took paper, and did write an instrument of covenants and sealed it.
So what do you think that instrument of covenants is? A marriage certificate.
Right.
That is the covenants of paperwork that you're supposed to have. So the son by him as well, his father. You have any children by him? Different father. So you are pregnant right now with the guy who believes the truth, right? Okay, I didn't want to insult you, sis. I didn't want some sisters, I ain't gonna say it, but you know what I mean. So you pregnant with his child right now. So guess what? Y'all already doing that part of it. You need to make it official. Y'all need to make it official. Go get that marriage certificate.
Right.
Now you can give me Hebrews.
Hebrews 13, verse 4. Marriage is honorable in all. Marriage is honorable in all. And the bed undefiled.
So right now, your bed is not undefiled when you don't have paperwork. You understand that? Because at that point, a boyfriend is, for lack of better words, a whoremonger and a whore. That's what that is. Because there's no such thing as trying the milk before you buy the cow. You can't do that. Because guess what? The brother, and I'm saying not saying he is, but when we was growing up, actually I'm gonna use that. When we grew up as children, we had boyfriend and girlfriends at young ages. And if you slept with them, you whored yourself out by having multiple men. The brother whored his sisters out and made himself a whoremonger because he went from girl to girl to girl. And the women go man to man to man. You understand that? That's dishonoring yourself, your vessel. Because God said we are holy. You understand that? So when it goes to paperwork, this is the importance. Y'all might lay together, y'all have a child together, but right now it's not honorable yet. So now you have to go. You can go to the courthouse. You can get it for a couple bucks. I know back in the day it used to be like 20 bucks. I don't know about now. You know, I've been married for over 10 years. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But you can go down to the courthouse. You don't have to do a big old wedding if y'all want to do that. Go to the courthouse, sign the papers, and now you're official. Now you're keeping God's commandments. Now the Most High God can open up another level of wisdom to you. You understand that? What you got? Is that more on that Hebrews 13? Yeah, finish that off.
But marriage is honorable in all, and the bed undefiled. But whoremongers and adulterers God will judge.
You see that, sis? God said he will judge. When we see many, you look around in our communities, many forms of judgments to whoremongers and adulterers. You have STDs, you got child support, you got the Most High put you in a situation where a brother kill you because you're sleeping with his wife, or somebody sharing the same woman. Now, you know what I'm saying, or the same man. That's what we see today. You understand that? So you being a daughter of Sarah, being that example, you showing your children that marriage is honorable. Now you having a husband marrying the man that you with, your husband. I'm gonna call him your husband now, because now you get it. You understand it. God says marriage is honorable. Now your son will be, when he grow up, he will see my mom and my dad is married. When I get older, I want a wife. Your daughter, as she's getting older, she would say, I want a husband. Not, hey, I want a boyfriend. I want to be with Chris Brown or whoever the hell they see on the TV. They're gonna honor marriage because that's how you build a nation. Marriage. All right. What you got? What other scripture you had? Go ahead.
Deuteronomy 23 verse 17. There shall be no whore of the daughters of Israel, nor a sodomite of the sons of Israel.
You see that, sis? God said there should be no whores amongst our people. So that means marriage must be honored.
That's right.
Let me ask you a question, because you know the dress code. Do you always wear a dress?
Not always, simply just because
You already know what I want.
I'm pregnant. But,
Okay.
When he first brought me into it, I really just kind of pushed back pants and
Okay.
shorts, and I
Sis,
tried to find dresses.
that's understandable.
It's hard. I'm not gonna lie, I've been on all kinds of websites.
Okay.
You know, that's super cool. I can wear to work. I just wear every day.
Okay.
Even wear sneakers with.
Right. Okay. So you had said you kick back. Believe it or not, like 9 times out of 10, women kick back on pants. That's the first thing they kick back on. Many brothers that's married, that's the first. Their wives had no problem with everything else. They put the pork down, they put XYZ down, but when it came to the pants, that's one of the hardest struggles for our women. That's the spirit. You got to understand that. I'm going to read the law for you real quick.
Deuteronomy 22 verse 5. The woman shall not wear that which pertaineth unto a man.
You understand that, sis? Read it again.
The woman shall not wear that which pertaineth unto a man. Neither shall a man put on a woman's garment.
So guess what? God said a woman should not dress like a man, and a man should not be dressed like a woman. Because you wouldn't take us serious if we was out here in the dress teaching, right? So how can a person take a sister serious wearing pants? You can't be taken serious as a woman because you're carrying yourself as a man when you do those things. You understand that, sis? So that's why God said you should not do those things. Read the last part though. Watch this.
For all that do so are abominations unto the Lord thy God.
How does God feel about abominations? Let's get that. Surah 15. God said all that do so are abomination. Not just some. He said all, everybody who's dressed out of order is an abomination to him, sis. Read.
Ecclesiasticus or Sirach in the Apocrypha, chapter 15, verse 13. The Lord hateth all abomination.
What?
Hateth all abomination.
If God says he hates abomination and you're wearing pants, which is an abomination, what does that make you, sis? That makes you abomination, and God will hate you for that. You understand that, sis? It's not like, hey, God only hate me right in this moment. No, because you're still living in sin. Give me Psalms 111 and 10. Because you're still living in sin. These are the small things that you have to start changing. And as you change, make these leaps. Don't worry about, I know you mentioned earlier about finding clothes. you can reach out and find out other ways to find clothes. Again, it goes back to the same thing we brought out at the beginning. Being amongst other people, you can. Hundreds of babies have been born in the truth. All of us out here got kids. My wife had 2 kids since I came in the truth. She had dresses, she had skirts that can fit. This brother just had a baby. A lot of brothers out here be having a lot of babies. All right, so there's no problem finding maternity clothes that can fit your belly, make you feel good so you ain't got to worry about it squeezing. You don't have to put pants on. You don't have to do that to yourself, sis, because you got to understand God said, let your light shine. Let's actually get that. Matthew 5. Is that 5 I want? Matthew 5:14? Is that it?
Yes, sir.
Let your light shine before men? Go ahead.
Matthew 5, verse 14. Ye are the light of the world.
So you already know you Israel. God said you are the light. Read.
A city that is set on an hill cannot be hid.
If we was looking at, I'll use the top of this building, right? If it was a light on the top of that like a beacon, can it be hidden? No, everybody's going to see it. God said you are a light. Read.
Neither do men light a candle and put it under a bushel, but on a candlestick.
You don't take a freaking candle and put it underneath the bush to light up the room. No, you have it out so you can see. Read.
And it giveth light unto all that are in the house. Let your light so shine before men. And it giveth light unto all that are in the house. Let your light so shine before men, that they may see your good works and glorify your Father which is in heaven.
So let me ask you a question. What does that mean, sis? If you wearing pants and you at the job and somebody been watching YouTube like you've been watching YouTube, and they look at you and say, well, I know she Israel. She got a hair wrap on at the job. I heard her listen to it, but she gonna look at you and she ain't gonna have no belief. She not gonna take it to none effect. Why? Because she see you setting that example of still wearing the pants. But if you're wearing a dress, they see you making a change. It can be your mom, your auntie, your brother, your children. They sit back and they watch. That's what our people do. They'll watch you change. When they see you change, then they will take it serious. God said you are a light that cannot be hid. And you're supposed to let that shine. When we go to the stores, like this week, had 3 people stop me in the stores. Hey, Shalom. Hey, I know I'm Israel. All of them weren't fringes. Sister was wearing pants. But guess what? They saw my fringes. They know I'm Israel. Why? Because my light was shining before men.
Right.
How do your son know who he was when he came out here? Oh, they real. Why? Because our light been shining on the internet. Right. You understand that, sis? So same thing for yourself. You have to take that in consideration. Because remember, the scripture talks about nation, right? It don't talk about individuals. We all came here together. We're trying to leave together. Right. So you have to keep that in mind, that you are an example to not only your children, your household. You are an example to other women. I know you're at least in your 30s, right? 36. You said who? 36. You know how many young women or young girls are 18, 19, 20 that never had a mother, that don't have no mother figures? Who do you think they're going to look up to?
Media is going on.
They look at the media, but what about those who are trying to get their life together?
They're going to look for the truth.
What about those who come into the truth? Who don't have a mother? Who mom on drugs, her mom's a whore. She never had no mama to tell her nothing. Who they gonna look forward to, sis? Those who already been doing it. Right. They're gonna look forward to you as an example. Now you can't be double-minded. You gotta be one way and keep the commandments. You understand that? That's why it's important that you set that example. That's very important that you show the example so everybody can watch you and learn. You understand that? What you got? Give me that in where's that talking about? Not to whore, prostitute your daughter.
1929.
1929. Get that real quick, cause I want to address one more point on the pants. Go ahead.
Leviticus 19, verse 29. Do not prostitute thy daughter to cause her to be a whore.
So why am I going back to this? We already read you the law on the dress code, right? Now, if you wearing pants, your daughter wears pants, I'm assuming, right? So when she's wearing pants, they're tight-fitting pants, correct? And your daughter wears pants that's going to shape her butt, her legs, and what is other young boys going to do when they look at her? No. Look at her like a piece of meat, right? Just like yourself. You are here you have a whole husband at the house, and you pregnant with his son, or his daughter, or with his daughter. You pregnant with his child, and you wearing pants with your butt hanging out. So now here you are pregnant. You already got a husband, and then now you're gonna have men looking at you, because everybody ain't right. I'll tell you like it is. Everybody ain't right. Now you put yourself in that situation. So when the scripture talk about whoring out your daughters, that's what you do when you allow her to have a boyfriend. When you put her in those the attire of a harlot, which is shorts. Does she wear shorts and bathing suits?
At home, not outside.
She wear bathing suits outside?
Yeah, we go to a water park. She wears swimsuits.
Swimsuits, like the regular one, the one that cut. Right. Okay. Let's deal with sis.
You know, not short like that.
Okay. I got you, sis. So if you're allowing your daughter to wear that, think about all the perverts that go to water parks. And you allow your daughter, how old is your daughter again? 14 years old. And she's wearing a onesie, a one piece. Don't you know how many men kidnap girls? And we have black children, black and Hispanic children. We are the hot commodity for kidnapping.
Right.
And then you allow her to go out there and dress like that. And then she's probably at school with other young boys who all they want to do is try to get in her pants. You understand that? This is how you prostitute your daughter, sis. Let me ask you a question. Watch this. You might not have thought about this. You know what a two-piece bathing suit is, right? Okay. What is the difference? Hold on. What is the difference between a two-piece bathing suit and underwear and bra? What is the difference?
The difference is the underwear and bra go under your clothes.
But you wear a bathing suit outside to swim. What's the difference?
There's really no difference.
I'll tell you what the difference is, sis. The fabric is waterproof. That's it.
Bring it out.
It's still a bra and it's still panties. Waterproof. That's it. And then we allow our daughters to wear those things. And then they say, oh, she's just going swimming. That's a bathing suit. No, that is underwear. You understand that, sis? Leggings is undergarments.
Right.
You get that? So when our daughters are wearing those things, that's what we have to take into consideration. That's why the Bible says don't prostitute your daughters.
Wow.
Don't allow her to do those things. You understand that? Read that again.
Leviticus 19, verse 20.
How you doing, bro? You know your nationality? Do me a favor. Read this song for me real quick and find your father on here, all right? Tell me where your father is on that while we read this. Go ahead.
Leviticus 19, verse 29. Do not prostitute thy daughter to cause her to be a whore, lest the land fall to whoredom.
Now that last part says, lest the land falls to whoredom. The example of that is if all of our women are dressed like harlots and all of our women are putting themselves out there, right? Attracting sexual attention. What is all the men going to do? The men are going to be in sin. I'm going to give you a perfect example. I was thinking about this yesterday, how heavy this stuff is. You have a rapper like Cardi B. You have people like Beyonce, right? I'm going to use Cardi B because she did that WAP video, right? That everybody was talking about. She's in that music. She's married. You understand that, sis? She's married. Have her butt and breasts hanging out all over the internet. Now she's causing thousands of men and other women to lust after her. You understand that? That's what happens in this when the scripture says the whole land will fall to whoredom. She's causing other people to look at her. She's married. No other man should be looking at a married woman like that. But you see today how the nation of Israel is in the midst of sin because of that.
We used to scream black power while heroin was pushed. But at the end of the day, nothing's in vain. IUIC has been given a vision. The tents of Judah has risen. Many has attempted the mission. Minor murmuring, omitting, and missing the mark. Just reading that he had the flame of fire in his eyes gave us the spark. We on Paul's mission. We out on the road, purple and gold, from Mexico, Cuba, Haiti, Ghana, Sierra Leone, 144,000 boots banging, concrete crackling. These are our men repented at heart. The scriptures is proof. IUIC, we deliver the truth.